My
We are
controller.
live.
Oh, we are live. I can tell we're live because I can hear you twice, Steve.
Yes, that's a good thing. That means you've got
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Yeah, it means
Christmas.
it's working. And Happy Hanukkah and all that jazz. Hey, Tesla.
Tessa, go see Mom.
Tesla, come here. Tesla, come here. All right, I'm gonna mess up all the video. Hi, Tesla.
There she
Look at it,
is.
Santa.
Santa
Whoops.
dog.
It's hard to get you when you're over that far. Hang on. We'll get it down here. There we go. Tesla, come here. Look this way. Look at your audience. No, don't put your head down there. Put your face up here. Poor Tesla. We've been torturing her all day with this outfit. Took her for a run on the beach. She was a huge hit, let me tell you.
Yes, she was.
All right, I'm still hearing you twice because I haven't finished.
Hey, Kaylee's here.
Hearing you once. Kaylee, Kaylee, post the picture. Post the picture. This is so exciting. Kaylee has a very exciting photo. It is not my photo to share, though.
No, it's not.
All right, I guess it's time for roll call. We've got Kevin and Jill. Oh, Jill's here. Kevin and Jill and Rick and Santa and Sandy and Kaylee. Oh, the kids are watching Mr. Bean. Is that highly educational, Kaylee? It helps them learn English, right? That's what it's all about.
You bet.
Very good. I may or may not be in class. Do you have the picture to show? And friends, so I can listen. Can't
Jill.
listen, but I can chat. Oh, your friend's house. Okay. Can't listen. Okay. Tell her I said hi. All right. I think we did a test recording already, so we are probably cleared to start the show. Should I go ahead and maybe I'll shake Tesla and just have it be part of the plot that if we hear it anymore. How does this sound? All right, let's go ahead and start. Let me arm the track. Go there. All right. Oh, it wants me to save already. NC up. There we go. Tis a lesson for Tessa to be merry. All right, here we go. Muting Steve. No, he's not muting. Huh. I do not have control to mute you, so you're going to have to mute yourself. For some reason, it's gone. Okay, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, December 22nd, 2019, and this is show number 763. Well, Tesla's got bells on and a Santa suit for our live show, and Steve and I are bedecked in our Santa hats as well. So we've got it going. I got on a Hawaiian shirt with Santa. Steve's got his red Santa shirt on. We got it going on here. So I can't promise you won't hear those bells again if Tesla comes flying through. Anyway, thanks to many, many awesome listeners, we will have full shows for every one of the holiday weekends. Because of these awesome listeners, I've been able to do my Christmas shopping, wrap presents, go to a holiday party, see Kyle for his birthday, and finish a video tutorial for Screencast Online. In a weak moment, I agreed to a delivery date of December 23rd. I don't know why I decided to do that, but I did. Anyway, I cannot thank all of the contributors enough for making my holidays more enjoyable and helping me to not disappoint the listeners. All of the reviews are fantastic, even Frank's. Anyway, I can't remember what I told you we'd play this week, and I'm too lazy to go back and look, and I think I've moved some things around. So here's what we've got on deck. First, Joe McKinley bought my 2013 15-inch MacBook Pro, and as a longtime Windows user, she's going to tell us about her early experiences. Then we'll take a holiday interlude while Steve continues with his annual tradition of reading his rendition of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas with an ever so slight Apple bias. Next up, we have an excellent review of the software QLab by Andy Dolph. Now, you haven't heard Andy Dolph's voice since 2012 on the NosillaCast, since, let's see, that was episode number 385, when he explained to us the difference between different audio compression methods. He explained why it's a really dumb idea to compress an already compressed file. Anyway, I think you'll really enjoy his storytelling about QLab using a 2-foot steam gauge engine in A Christmas Story as his example. I just told you that part so Bart and Brett's ears will perk up to listen. Then we have the second half of Security Bits that Bart and I recorded last week, but a huge story broke this week. So Bart and I did a quick impromptu recording about it, which I will play before the regular Security Bits. But first, let's get started with Jill McKinley.
So I'm not getting I'm sorry, Hindenburg.
I haven't played back anything from Hindenburg. Why would you be hearing it?
No, I'm not getting the video. The NDI.
Oh, maybe you lost it when you came and went?
Well,
because I had here, I'll switch it and then switch it again. There it is. You got it now?
That's not live. That's from before.
It certainly isn't. That's a screenshot. So I think we determined that you need to try the low res version.
Yeah, that
right.
Try that.
The low bandwidth version and then switch back. Actually, that was one of the experiments they wanted us to run. So is that the low res one?
Okay, I kicked in low res and then kicked it out to high res, and now it's running.
And it's working? Okay, can you make a note of that? Because that was one of the questions they asked.
Definitely.
They wanted to know. Definitely.
Let's see if that shows.
Okay, Rain Man.
Yes. Definitely.
Okay.
Did you do a save for Kevin?
I did. And you know what that really helps for more than anything is remembering to do the chapter mark. I'm pretty good about like instinctively saving. What's that?
Is your little automation script working? No, not even.
No, it doesn't work at all. All right. Let's see. Did Jill say she can't hear?
Well, she couldn't before, and I don't see her in live show listens, so I think she's just in the chat room.
Well, we can make fun of her then in her review.
Uh-oh.
No. Okay. Let's I mean, just usually when somebody's here, I play their whole thing, but we'll listen a little bit here about it, which I will play before the regular Security Bits. But first, let's get started with Jill McKinley.
Hi, this is Jill.
That was too long before Jill. We'll give Jill a little bit of a head start on that. Let's get started with Jill McKinley.
Hi, this is Jill with my reflections on the new to me MacBook Pro. I've been a Microsoft gal since the time I built my 8088 with MS-DOS version 1 in the early 80s. When I went to college, I bought an Apple IIc. It was an extraordinary amount of money given to me by my grandmother, who wanted to see college as a success for me. I thought a computer would be a huge advantage. I also bought an Apple thermal printer, which was also very expensive when it came to ink and paper. But I have to admit, the experience with Apple really turned me off to the company. At the store that sold the devices, they refused to talk to me, and they would only talk and answer to my dad. I thought the company was made up of annoying busybodies who tried to get me to cut up disks and otherwise micromanage the use of my computers through written letter. Plus, there was not a lot of software available for the device.
I love it. I could just imagine the young Jill not putting up with that horse poop of them telling her. You know, I was curious what store that might have been, since she, that was long before there were Apple stores. So,
reseller.
Yeah, this was a back to poop. Yeah, this was an Apple IIc. So Apple stores hadn't been invented yet.
Right.
That was a little while ago, was the last time she tried it. Anyway, it's a great story. But I am going to do a little recording, and then I am going to play Steve. Okay, here we go.
And in a few years, I'll need a new machine, and we'll see what that will be. I'm as intrigued as you are to see what that is.
I just love that my MacBook Pro went to someone who loves her. You know, I think that's really cool, and she clearly appreciates it. And it is fun and interesting to see and listen to her experiences as she goes through it. You know, so many of us haven't been new Mac users in a very long time. It's really neat to see somebody doing the discovery. Sadly, she knows a lot and is too smart and hasn't let me help her do hardly anything. I was really hoping I'd get to hold her hand a lot, but unfortunately she's self-service. So anyway, maybe she'll get stuck soon. Perhaps she'll finally update to Catalina and ruin her life, and then she'll need us all, at least for a support group. All right. How was that? That'll make her laugh. Save an itch after Steve come in. Oh, that's nice. You're getting a little. Well, now we all must. Steve, you have to stay on screen while I play this one.
And why is that?
Because it's you talking.
Oh, I'd prefer not being on screen, though.
Well.
Well, I have to do a reenactment.
Yes. All right. So Jill is done. Let me mark
I could
that
lip sync it.
Actually, you totally should do that. All right. So this is Stephen P. now coming in. God, I can hear my fans. Every time I talk, I hear a sss. I wonder if I close this down some. Is that any quieter? Oh, I think, well, maybe. Those fans are loud. I'm trying to track something down. It appears that there's some interaction between audio hijack and my dock/monitor going on that I'm getting a lot of fans. All right.
You got a lot of fans.
Not the good kind. Not the good kind. All right. Now it's up to at least for a support group.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a trackpad. Okay, work with me here. The earbuds were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that all things eye maker soon would be there. The NosillaCastaways were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of iPads danced in their heads. And Podfeet in her kerchief and I in my cravat had just settled down for a long winter Skype chat. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the keyboard to see what was the matter. Away to the windows! I flew like a flash drive, tore open the shutters, and nearly did a nosedive. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of brushed aluminum to objects below. When what to my eyes seemed very bizarre, but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny cars. With a little driver with whom elves hobnob, I knew in a moment it must be...
Uh-oh. We lost you, Al. Al, we don't have you. No audio. No audio. Yes, we can see you, just can't hear you. Can you hear her in the chat room, folks? You can hear her in the chat room. Okay, just not Mimo. Let me do a reset here on your face cam.
I was trying to get Steve to keep.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, all right.
What happened?
So I was trying to lower my lid on my Mac to see if I could get it to stop making so much noise. And all of a sudden my screen went black. So I think I caused that discontinuity to you. All right, well, let's keep listening. I'll back up a little bit.
As dry leaves that before the reality distortion field endowed, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the cloud, so up to the housetop the vehicles they flew, with the sleigh full of Apple products, and Honda Bob too. And then in a twinkling, I heard with a squeal the skidding and sliding of each little wheel. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney Bob came with a bound. He was dressed in coveralls from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with oil and soot. A bundle of SSDs he had flung in his Scotty vest, and he looked like a geek who was extremely obsessed. A wink of his eye and a look not too pious soon gave me to know he had an Apple bias. He spoke not a word, but texted his concern, and he filled all the stockings and then hit return. And laying a finger aside his levitation app, a command to his iPad, up the chimney, ASAP. He sprang to his sleigh, and the autos did they bristle, and away they all flew as if shot from a missile. But I heard him exclaim, as the poem prescribed, Happy Christmas to all, and please stay subscribed.
Very nice, Steve. And I just realized I forgot to read the thing beforehand, so I will go back and insert that. Go back here. Come on, how do I get back to that? Oh, fine. There it is. Right. Record here. Record here. I can hear you typing. Can you mute yourself?
Oh.
Because I cannot. Okay. Since it's only a week until Christmas, I thought now would be a good... Oh, wait a minute. Never mind that sentence. It's nearly Christmas, so it's time for Steve to resurrect the poem that has become a holiday favorite on the NosillaCast. This year, we lost our beloved Honda Bob, a longtime NosillaCastaway and contributor to the show and a very dear friend. But his memory and the absolute silliness he inspired in the NosillaCastaways will live on. Let me hand this up. That's what happens when I wing it. Let me hand this. Okay, come on. Here we go. So grab a hot beverage and some cookies, sit back, relax, and enjoy a slightly modified version of The Night Before Christmas. Will live on. So grab a hot beverage. I can still hear that hiss. Maybe that isn't coming from my... I don't know. So grab a hot beverage and some cookies, sit back, relax, and enjoy Steve's slightly modified version of The Night Before Christmas. There we go.
I don't hear the hiss.
Yeah, I do.
That may just be local. Local hiss.
No, I could see it too. You want to see it? I can see it on the AU Dynamics processor.
Oh.
Let's see if I can show that on screen. I can't look at my screen right now because I've blocked it. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's listen to that transition. Of The Night Before Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house...
Yeah, I don't hear it at all on you, so I know it's something on me. I've been chasing this for a long time. All right. Down to the end of that. Okay. Go down. That looks more normal. All right. That is Steve. All right. So I guess I did that introduction, unfortunately, for Andy. You know what? Wow, that'd be really hard to move. Well, thank you for that, Steve. I don't think that's ever going to get old. I think we should play it every year, even when nobody listening can even remember who Honda Bob is. But we'll always have fun. Well, next up, we've got Andy Dolph with his review of QLab. All right. Chapter mark. And...
Did you do a save?
I did.
Good.
This. Nope, that doesn't work. Fine. Copy link. No. Copy. Copy. Paste. Nope. Okay. Let's try this.
That looks like the right link.
Right to clipboard. It is.
Oh.
Oh, I am doing it right. Never mind. Shut up.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to sit back and drink some wine. Okay, so that was Steve gets a green tag. And now we're going to do Andy. This has gotten very confusing. I have a spreadsheet to try to keep track of this. Okay, let's put Andy here. I didn't remember. Andy's an audio engineer. So his audio is pretty good. Dolph with his review of QLab.
Hi, this is Andy, and I'm here with...
Okay, so I turned off auto leveling. Can you tell? That was a little loud. Of QLab.
Hi, this is Andy, and I'm here with a little bit different kind of a story for the NosillaCast. My background is in sound, lighting, and projection design for the theater. I've been thinking for a while about telling you all about an application I use a lot. It's called QLab, the letter Q, L-A-B, and it's at qlab.app if you'd like to learn more. It's produced by a small company in Baltimore called Figure 53, and it's kind of specific to the entertainment industry, theater, and other kinds of performances. So here's the problem to be solved. The way we use media in performance, whether that's audio or video or both, tends to be different from the way we use it in our daily lives. You know, when I'm at home, I put on a podcast or I put on a playlist or whatever, and I let it play. And I don't really care the exact moment it starts or the exact moment it ends. But in a live performance environment, you can imagine, we need it to be very precise. Imagine a dance recital.
Okay. Steve is asking whether I am going to play. How much of this I should play?
I don't think you're going to have a super short show tonight. If
I don't, okay.
Maybe that's what you want, but
well, let's keep going then. I need this app.
All you have left is security bits.
Yeah, but I'll probably play the Zynga one. But
all
right,
Zynga. I didn't even see Zynga.
Yeah, that just got thrown in at the last minute. I did a recording while you were reading. All right, let me okay, that's not going to work. I'm going to keep playing because Kaylee is very excited. So this is also, there's a free version, even better.
Imagine a dance recital. The music needs to start when the dancers are in position, not before and not after. And then it needs to stop while the audience applauds at the right time. And the next thing can't start until the next group of dancers is ready. What QLab does is let us create a series of cues, a series of things that we want to have happen. And we can choose what the timing relationship between those things is. So the standard default behavior is that it does one cue when you press the go button, typically the space bar on the Mac, and then it stops ready to start the next cue the moment you press the space bar. And you go through the whole show that way. Now, if you have multiple cues that are always going to operate together at the same time, let's say you have a piece of audio and a separate piece of video that always need to start together, then QLab lets you connect them so that you press the spacebar once and they both happen. This makes it really easy to operate shows that can get very complex. Here's a great simple example where QLab really shines. And one of my favorite things about it is the feature set of the free version of QLab, which you can go and download right now at qlab.app, was all we needed to do this show. I volunteer as a conductor on the Maine Narrow Gauge Railroad, which is in Portland, Maine, and it's 2-foot gauge steam trains. Our biggest fundraiser of the year at the railroad is the Polar Express. There's music and announcements, a professional performance reading the book, all happens. It's kind of like a little play that happens on the train as we steam out to the North Pole. I like to tell the kids that in the summer, our tracks go to the Back Cove Bridge. But somehow in November and December, our tracks go to the North Pole. We've never quite figured out how that works. I'll include a couple of pictures of the train that Allison can put in the show notes. There's a number of different pieces of music that need to happen on time. At the start of the show, everybody's on board the train at the station. We play an introduction. The introduction then goes into the hot cocoa music. And our hot cocoa chef elves come on the train and everybody gets their hot cocoa and cookies. And then as the train leaves, we play some music and then the story. and then some more music. And then when that sequence ends, we start playing Christmas music. And the Christmas music needs to continue until a specific point where Santa gets off the train and we're ready to go back to the station. And then we play a last song from the film score. So the problem to be solved is making sure that the right things happen at the right time. But if there's an unexpected delay, they don't happen too early. Because, of course, the speed the train runs is about the same every night, but it varies a little from trip to trip and engineer to engineer. And for instance, if there was an obstruction on the track or we had a mechanical issue, we might have to hold for a number of minutes. And we want the soundtrack to stay with us that whole time. In the past, the sound had been run off an iPod Nano, and it required somebody with a fair amount of skill in order to make that work. And it often wasn't all that elegant. It was okay, but we could do better. And so this year I programmed it in QLab. When the train pulls into the station for the first trip, the sound operator presses the spacebar and it starts playing the pre-show music. And that's a series of tracks. And the thing is, that series of tracks will repeat forever if needed. So we could start it today, come back tomorrow morning, and it would still be repeating that same series of 6 tracks. So we're in that loop for as long as we need to be. Then when we're ready to start the show, they push the spacebar one more time. It plays the safety announcement and then starts the Polar Express music and then goes directly into the hot chocolate music. That hot chocolate track is 27 minutes long. It should never take 27 minutes to serve hot chocolate, even to a train of close to 300 people. So the idea is I've given us way more music than we could ever need under any reasonable circumstances. Then as the train leaves, the operator presses the spacebar again, and it starts the sequence with the music and the story. And then when the story ends, it automatically goes into the Christmas music sequence, which again repeats like that first sequence I talked about, the pre-show. So however long it takes us to get back, the Christmas music will just continue. And then when we drop Santa off and we're ready to go back into the station for that last little part of the trip, he presses the space bar, the Christmas music fades out, and the Believe song starts. When we get back into the station, he presses the space bar one last time. The music fades down, but it's still in the background, and it plays a pre-recorded announcement asking people to watch their step as they get off the train. And then the music comes back up, it finishes the Believe song, and automatically goes back to start again, the pre-show for the next trip, all through QLab. And this, as I say, is a fairly simple application of it using just the free feature set. It can get fairly expensive if you want to use the advanced audio, video, and lighting features. It's about $1,000 to buy the complete program. But if you're doing a sort of one-off event, it's also available as a rental. $10 a day gives you the full feature set. Or if you only need one discipline, audio, video, or lighting, you can just rent the one you need for $4 a day. I would encourage you, if you're doing a school talent show or a church event or a dance recital, to think about bringing your Mac along and give QLab a try. Back to you, Allison.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
You know, I had listened to this a long time ago, and I hadn't listened to it in a little while. I forgot how cool that thing was. I spent a bunch of time looking at the pretty pictures of the train. So I'm going to do a little bit here.
Before you do that, your
Yes.
camera got adjusted as somehow
Is it wonky?
downward.
Downward?
Go up a little.
Well, it was downward dog. Ha! Ha!
Oh, look at you go.
Sorry. The echo to the other room was good there. How's that?
That's good.
I could hear myself laughing. My nose is itchy. All right, let me try to think of something clever to say here.
Good luck.
This is driving me crazy. All right. No, come on, I can't stand it. It's like every time I start talking.
Oh, I didn't tell you all this time I'm going, shh.
Every time I start talking. Good. All right. Yep, I'm sticking with that story, Frank. All right. What was I going to try to say here? Oh.
About bringing your Mac along and give QLab a try. Back to you, Allison.
Well, I got to tell you, Andy, the live show was lighting up. Kaylee was extremely excited about this. I believe she said, I need this, followed by, how come I never knew about this? So she's pretty excited about that. I am also guessing that Shyamini is going to be excited about it, and everybody who works for the schools or their churches or a lot of that stuff was really, really interesting to me. Even the business model where you can rent the full capability for days at a time. That's a terrific business model. Looks like they've got a lot of different ways to make it work for people. Very, very cool. I talk a lot about using the Amazon affiliate links, and I'm not sure everyone understands that it's not just tech stuff that helps the show that you buy in the Amazon in Amazon. If you click on a link, say to an SSD and a blog post, but you continue shopping, everything in that session counts towards helping the show. Now, keep in mind, I absolutely cannot see who buys what, but I can see what was purchased. For example, in Canada, we've got some Lee's jeans, an Instapot, and a smart meat thermometer. In Germany, we've got some single malt Scotch whiskey and Office 365. I guess they needed the whiskey because of the Office 365. Well, the UK went in for a subscription to the Telegraph, some batteries for the holiday toys, and a camping stove and some tech with a solar power bank and a Logitech crayon. Back in the US, someone's staying safe with flashing light shoe clips and reading an Arctic guide to wildlife in the far north. Not sure if those two are related. Now, while Canada favored Lee's jeans, the U.S. bought Levi's, and someone is fixing to make some recordings for the NosillaCast. Okay. Can't mispronounce NosillaCast. Now, while Canada favored Lee's jeans, in the U.S., someone bought Levi's. And someone is fixing to make some recordings for the NosillaCast, obviously, because they bought an ATR 2100 USB mic. There's a lot more, but I got tired of pulling all those links to add to the show notes. Yes, all those links are in the show notes. So if you need any of those things, go buy them through the links in the show notes. Anyway, see what I mean? Every little bit sends a small percentage to help the show. Thank you to everyone who remembers to click those tech links and then keep shopping at Amazon. Okay. Now
you should see what Frank posted.
Sticking with that story.
And here I was worried about Google and Facebook tracking purchases.
Tracking purchases, but I can't see who purchased it.
Yeah.
I absolutely cannot. It's fun to look back through and see what people are buying. I called out a few things in Germany. There was one other thing. There was a. I think the only other thing I could recognize. Wait a minute, where's Germany? I did talk about Germany.
It's in Europe.
Yeah, the whiskey in the Office 365. Someone bought a Fire TV stick, but all the rest of the things were in German, so I don't actually know what they bought. I could have clicked the links and looked at it and go, what is that? But yeah, it's a little tricky when I'm talking Germany. That hiss is driving me crazy.
We can't hear it. Anyone in the chat room hear that hiss?
No, I mean, do I sound fabulous?
Yeah, no hiss. You're hissless.
Let me see if I can hear it on
what
this.
Hiss?
Okay, let me hear if I can hear this. Managed to help the show. Thank you to Yep, I can hear it on the recording. It's in there. Sigh. I got to figure it out. I thought for a while it was coming because my my USB mic was plugged into the dock and I moved it, and I've even changed cables. I wonder if my interface is making the hiss.
Kaylee says always. She can always hear the hiss. Oh, no. I think she's coming on Frank's comment. Okay.
I hear boos, but no hisses. Nice. That was Frank worthy. That was so
yes,
bad.
It was.
Nice. I like it.
Well played, Kaylee.
Okay, I forgive you for saying
nice
things about Steve. Snakes
on a plane. There's another take on hiss. Boy, his is
nice.
Big tonight.
You guys have got it going on. Okay, so I think I'm going to do the Security Bits audio twice because I brought Bart in for an emergency session. Have you guys been following the Zynga thing?
So what do you mean by twice?
So I'm gonna play some security bits, or just a short segment, well, short 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna come back and play the real security bits.
Because there was an add-on for a last-minute security breach.
Yeah.
And is that a recording on Zynga?
Yeah. Okay, let's hear how this sounds. Shopping at Amazon. Okay, so.
Oh wait. Oh, so you're saying that's not part of the original security bits,
right?
Is it? So it will only exist in this NosillaCast blog post, or this NosillaCast post?
Yeah, you can see the notes, right?
Yeah, but what about the audio?
I'm about to play it.
Oh, so you did a second recording, and you'll just
listen. Just
All
listen.
right.
You'll understand as soon as you hear it. Shopping at Amazon. So you're about to hear security bits in a few minutes, but the first thing you're going to hear Bart say is, well, we recorded this a week ago, and as long as nothing big happened, hey, Bart.
Hello, something big happened.
Yeah, so I've caught Bart
Did I
with
cut him off?
very little chance.
Hello, something big happened.
Yeah, so I've caught Bart with very little chance to prepare, but I tried to understand this big Zynga breach, and I think I got most of it wrong, or maybe a tenth of it right when I tried to do it myself. So I asked Bart if he'd just jump on and do an off the cuff, which, he loves to do unprepared material, right? That you love that?
Oh yeah, totally my favorite thing, to go on the record about something I haven't had time to prep for. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so well, maybe we should preface this with details are still coming out,
Yes.
being clarified. So what's a big picture? What happened here?
Okay, so as best as I can figure out, based on a good summary on, I think it was Daily Tech News Today, which is a wonderful 5-minute summary, by the way, that the DTNS guys do every day. I adore that summary. And based on the reading on Naked Security, and you found a link in The Guardian as well, as best as I can figure out, what we now know, so back in September, Zynga, who are a company who make a whole bunch of popular online thingies, like Draw with Friends and a bunch of games. I believe Farmville is how they became famous.
I think it's
that's
Word
Zynga.
Words with Friends and Draw Something are the two big games, but there's OMG Pop, right?
Right. So the two big games du jour are Words with Friends and the Draw one. But historically, I think Zynga sort of rose to fame. They sort of created this whole model of becoming a giant big tech company based on Facebook games. That was
Right.
They sort of pioneered that model, and they have lots of different products. And they released the kind of statement you get when the techies write something up, you hand it to PR, and PR are given the ability to write what they want instead of what's accurate. And so what came out was basically a whole bunch of fudge that just said, some accounts were hacked, we're looking into it, bye. Like, just no detail. Just, yes, some stuff happened. And that didn't make anyone in the security industry particularly happy. So the security press have been digging into this since September. And the first link you found was from October,
Right.
which is when Naked Security got in touch with the hacking group who are claiming responsibility, Gnostic Players. And so what they said is that, yeah, we broke into Zynga and we stole a bunch of databases. And one of the databases we stole was for Words with Friends, and we got 218 million records from Words with Friends. And those records include names, email addresses, login IDs, hashed and salted SHA-1 passwords, password reset tokens, which I'm not 100% sure what they are, phone numbers, Facebook ID, and Zynga account ID.
That seems like a little bit of stuff.
Yeah, so my gut reaction looking at that list of stuff they got, one of the first things you pointed out to me when you analyzed it was that SHA-1 isn't best practice. Because SHA-256 is now what people recommend.
Yeah, SHA-1 was 2005, I think, was when they decided that it was really, really, you shouldn't be doing it. Shouldn't be using it. Well,
okay, so you should
was 2010. By 2010, you really shouldn't have been using it.
Right, but the chances are these are old databases. So with password security, you're always, it's when you're designing a system, you should not use a hash which you think will be insecure a decade from now. So in 2010, you shouldn't have built anything new with SHA-1, but it doesn't mean that you needed to necessarily go back in time to everything before then. It sort of comes down to the big thing here is they're salted. That's huge.
And just to refresh people's memory, if even if SHA-1 is hacked, which is crackable, which it is, if you salt on top of SHA-1, then this SHA-1 database is not the same as the same stuff salted by somebody else with SHA-1. So it's not like you can reverse it easily, right?
Right, but the salt is actually per account. So the way a salt works, is that what's stored in the database is a bunch of gobbledygook followed by a colon followed by another bunch of gobbledygook. The first bunch of gobbledygook is the hash, and the second bunch of gobbledygook is the salt. So if you and I were on Words with Friends, and you and I both had the terrible password monkey, because you and I have different salts, the same password, even on the same website, would go to a different hash.
Okay.
So
Okay.
cracking one doesn't crack them all. So if they weren't salted, you would try all the common passwords, or if the same salt was shared, you could try all the common passwords, and then you would have everyone's password to use monkey. And then if you
Oh,
tried
right,
open
yeah.
123, you get everyone's password to use open 123. But you can't do that here because they're salted and hashed, which is what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
So in this case, the danger, right? So where things stand at the moment is it would be feasible to go to EC2, Amazon's cloud thing, and pay a few $1,000s and smash apart a specific salted hash you care about. So let's say, because they have the email addresses, right? So if they find an email address they're interested in, then they can target that person's password without too much resources because it's SHA-1. But what wouldn't be economically viable would be for an attacker to just attack the entire database and try get all the passwords and then see if anything of value falls out. Whereas
Okay.
if they weren't salted, that's exactly what you'd do.
Okay. So
Because
the passwords with the salt, so we're not as worried about that. But
yeah, that's not what's stressing me out. No,
but names, email address, login ID, phone numbers, and Facebook ID, those things together, those worry you more?
those worry me more because one of the things that is proving to be very valuable to bad guys is enough information to make a plausible looking targeted phishing attack. And with a database like this, you could make a targeted phishing attack in an entirely automated way. Because you have enough information to use a mail merge effectively, right? To build a believable attack on someone's Facebook account.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't have to be targeted phishing.
Right. So it's targeted in the sense that they have enough information that the recipient feels they've been targeted, but it's not someone spending time and effort because this database saves them the hassle
Oh, yeah, it's
of spending time
consistent
and effort.
information.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's why it's so dangerous. And I get very worried with these large breaches that contain enough information to put together the kind of phishing attempt that will sneak by people's first glance. It won't look suspicious straight away because they'll have a lot of information and it will be correct.
Yeah,
And that's just enough to sneak by people's guard, just long enough to click the wrong things.
just
And they'll probably
enough
go, "Oh,
people.
shoot." Yeah, exactly. So I always worry when I see that. Now, so as the story developed, so that was so we've now reached October in our story. So in October, the number was 218. And the thing we were worrying about was Word with Friends. But what was also released at the same time, actually in October, but didn't get nearly as much press as it should have, in my opinion, is that there was also a second, much smaller database stolen to a game that even then was discontinued called OMG Pop. It sounds fantastic. Um, and that only had 7 million records, but those were clear text passwords.
Oh, jeez.
So 7 million is a big number. If we hadn't just heard the number 218 million,
Right.
7 million would be a huge number, but it got lost in the 218 of Words with Friends. But to me, that 7 million is way worse because if you're in that 7 million and you've reused that password anywhere else, you're in really big trouble because it's not even badly hashed, let alone badly hashed and salted. It's just there.
Yeah, the 218 looks pretty good now.
Right.
You're hoping you're only being phished.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so today's edition is that actually Gnostic players got more than just the database they admitted to in October. They got a whole bunch more databases. So what they actually got was 172,860.
No, 172 million.
I was wrong. Yeah, I was going to say there were more commas coming, and I had already used the wrong big words. So 172,869,660 unique accounts.
Now, but what did they get of those accounts? That's why I don't know. How's
See,
that?
that's where we don't have a great amount of detail, because the Guardian, unfortunately, our source here is the Guardian article, and they're not really telling us an awful lot about exactly what's in this. But as best, they're not saying they're plain text; they are saying they're protected. So I think basically it's more hashed databases from more games. So it would seem that this word pop or OMG pop thing was one of their oldest games, and therefore the most badly protected, and that Words with Friends is more typical, and that the other breaches are in line with the Words with Friends database rather than, so basically more databases like the Words with Friend databases, because the Guardian does explicitly say the password security involving two processes called salting and hashing means it would be time consuming and expensive for anyone who gets hold of the stolen data to uncover usable passwords.
So this is more in the category of the 218 million, but it seems like could these be a subset of the other one?
Oh no, it is. It's definitely, this is the same story. So the number is just growing, right? So
wait. Hang on, 173 million is not bigger than 218 million.
Oh.
It's smaller. That's what's really confusing.
Okay, now bugger, I thought I had it figured out.
By the way, Bart and I have been going
that's funny. I laughed
about
exactly
40
the
minutes
same.
trying to piece this together. So
yeah, more than 170 million.
Yeah, so the 172, 869, 660, I got that exact number from Have I Been Pwned? Because I thought that was
unique accounts. They're unique. So that means that some of the other numbers may contain duplicates. Okay. So the numbers aren't apples with oranges.
Yeah, so what we don't know is this 173 a subset of the 218, and now this is verifying. I guess, how do we know about this 173 million? Did we also get this from the hackers? Or did Zynga admit this one?
Okay, so this one, these 173 million, they have the actual data file has made its way to Have I Been Pwned. So this isn't someone saying what they have. This is what the attackers have as an evidence. Somehow, we do not have details about the how, but has been somehow given to Have I Been Pwned. So what Have I Been Pwned have is a definite, certain 173 million unique records.
Okay, that makes sense. I know when I went to Have I Been Pwned, I kept trying to get more detail. The Guardian article is like 8 sentences. It has hardly any detail. So I was getting really confused by it. So I started following the links in it. And the link went to Have I Been Pwned, where I found the exact number, and I thought that was fun. So then I found another link, and it was offering to open the database for me. I was like, oh, wait, no, I didn't want to do that. But that's what you're saying, right? Is they've actually got it now.
They have the database. So the previous reports were about, the hacker says. So the Gnostic group were saying they. And here we have an actual database in the hands of Have I Been Pwned, who've done the analysis, and they say they have 173 million unique email addresses.
Okay, I think we should stop there because that's the end of what we have as facts today, right?
Yeah, so the big thing is, if you're a user of any Zynga products, just be that extra little bit suspicious about stuff that comes in via email, because you could be targeted for phishing. If you played OMG Pop and you know which password you used and you know you reused it somewhere else, you definitely need to change it. Now, Have I Been Pwned can help you here, since they have these databases. If you use Have I Been Pwned, you can check if you're affected by this.
Oh, okay, good point. I told my family about this earlier today, and they said, well, we logged into that through Facebook.
And right. So in that case, phishing is your danger, because when you log in through Facebook, you're using a protocol called OAuth 2, which means that the site you're logging into never gets to see, let alone store, your password.
Okay.
But what they have is your Facebook username.
Okay, so if you logged in via Facebook, your password has probably not been hacked, but you're still
Definitely.
in the phishing pile.
Yes, exactly. Definitely not, because the way OAuth 2 works, it's designed that you can log in somewhere without them ever seeing. It's like using PayPal to pay for something, right? The site that
Okay.
uses PayPal never sees your credit card. When you log in with Facebook, the site you're logging into never sees your password. So they can't mess it up because they never had it.
Okay, that makes sense. So in the show notes, I'm writing, if you've used any Zynga games for anything, be super alert for phishing, and I'm going to write after that, for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
These are always
although-
forever, right?
Yes, although the information goes stale, right? Because you change email addresses, you change phone numbers. So the information does slowly go off.
Okay.
Sort of like a like a pickle rather than like an egg. But it does go off.
Like a pickle rather than an egg. This is what you get, ladies and gentlemen, when you ask Bart to jump on with no preparation.
Yes, and I may have had sauerkraut with apples and pickle for dinner.
Ah, okay, so that's why that came up.
It was bloody delicious too, for the record.
Well, good. I appreciate you jumping on. I know this was a little tough, but I think this was big enough that we should. It would be very stale. It would be like a very old pickle after the holidays.
Yes. Also, it saves me having to worry about it in January, so
All
works
right,
for me.
sounds good. Thanks a lot, Bart.
Okay, and future me will wibbly wobbly timey wimey. No, past me. Oh, wibbly wobbly timey wimey. Bye.
Sounds good. Okay, so that last bit was for Jill. Okay. Wow, that got really confusing. Kaylee, I downloaded the two files. They're both MOV files. I have not listened to them. Very excited because they're nice and long. That's gonna be sweet.
So you can add them now.
Yeah, just throw them on in.
Just throw them in there.
I have a giant
So you
file
have
already.
you have more content for next week.
Yeah, so I'm
If they fit.
well, I've actually got a full show next week. So this will probably, hopefully these are not Christmas related.
Are they do they need to be done early, Kaylee? Are they timely?
I hope not. They're called May the 4th Be With You.
Well,
and the
there
second
was
one's
a new
called May the
Star Wars
4th Be.
movie.
Oh, I did that joke already. .mov. And in the middle of, I was typing, and one of the problems I've been having that's actually listed in those 35 items is my keyboard just suddenly loses focus and starts typing someplace else. And it's not a keyboard on it's an independent keyboard. It is this keyboard, so there's no trackpad for me to be hitting. And all of a sudden, my cursor will be somewhere else. So I hit a space when I was typing in the chat room, and it started to play Kaylee's voice in both of those recordings. So they both started up at the same time. Ooh, is Allison's audio cutting out for anyone else?
I'm not listening to Discord, so I can't answer that one.
Well, you're listening to the same input. You're listening to...
Well, assuming that Discord is
true.
behaving itself.
Yeah.
Rick
So, I hope those aren't timely.
Kaylee?
She's not saying. You might need to type it to her, because I think
Wait,
she
I
is...
think she have to... Did she leave? I think she may have...
She's teaching right now.
She's here. She's just not in the listen.
Okay, so that's why I'm saying you need to type to her. Okay, I need to say something nice about Steve here. And then I'm going to play the Security Bits music again. Oh, now I'm almost out of time. Mute yourself, Steve. Here we go. Well, I'm glad Bart snuck in there, but I've got another thing that I wanted to tell you guys about. Things were not lined up where I wanted them to be. Well, I'm sure glad Bart... Oh, come on, really? I can't say one sentence without help. Well, I'm sure glad Bart jumped in there for us. I did have one other thing I wanted to tell you about. Steve Sheridan brought our attention to a 45-minute talk by Evan Kirstic of Apple at the Black Hat Security Conference. Now, it's not often that we get to hear from... Actually, no. Sorry, I'm going to do it one more time. Evan is the way he pronounces it, believe it or not.
Bye.
Well, I'm sure glad Bart jumped in there to help us out. And I've got one other thing before we kick into the regular security bits. Steve Sheridan brought our attention to a 45-minute talk by Evan Kirstic of Apple at the Black Hat Security Conference. It isn't often that we get to hear from Apple in the wild, so this is a unique opportunity to hear from their head of security, engineering, and architecture. And there's a link to a YouTube video that Steve sent to us. Okay, now we're going to start the real security bits. And we're going to copy that.
So I guess I forgot. Security Bits is not, there's no live video other than, or live audio. There's no audio other than in NosillaCast. It's not its own.
Correct.
So that's why
it isn't a podcast.
Capturing it as a separate piece from an audio perspective, because it's all together here.
I still don't know what you mean.
I thought you had already posted the audio as a separate feed, and I forgot it's part of NosillaCast.
Okay.
So you're good.
Whatever.
Don't change a thing.
Whatever you
Perfect.
just said. Okay. Okay. Who is that says that? Is that Brian Regan?
Okay. Could be.
All right. So we're going to put Bart and Allison.
Did you do a
in
save
here.
there?
I
Did you have to mark
did.
save?
But I'm also busy doing this now. So this. God. So I want to tell you how observant I am about audio. I asked Steve to listen to something in Hindenburg and to listen to the same thing outside of Hindenburg. And he pointed out to me, which I had never noticed, that if I bring a stereo file with me on me on one side, Bart on the other side, like left and right channels, if I bring those in to Hindenburg, they come in on both of them, come in on both ears. And I have never noticed that. I'm super observant. Let's hear how this sounds. Video that Steve sent to us. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Barbouche. Too long. That's
Oh.
Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Barbouche Shots. In theory, you're listening to this on December 22nd, 2019, no matter when we're recording, right, Bart?
Right, because I'm having terrible deja vu. It feels like we only just did this.
Which is interesting because he's not talking about what you just heard.
Oh, so what was he talking about?
We recorded the first half a week ago. We recorded the first and second halves together.
Got it.
So this is the second half of a Security Bits that we started a week ago, and we're going to do some slightly more evergreen information because it was not light your hair on fire. Is that right?
Correct. And it comes with the caveat that if something horrific has happened in the last 7 days, we are blissfully unaware. We have no idea. So there may be terribly important patches you should be applying right now this second to protect your very digital existence, and we know nothing.
And we're
Hopefully
just happy drinking eggnog. We're good to go.
Well, I think I'll be tucking into my. We have a tradition that we.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Wait. I wanted to hear that tradition.
No, you made me play a lot more of.
You're a big old tease, Allison.
Let's see. How do I get to? There's a way to get to a section. There we go. All right, fine. I think it was right about here.
Well, I think I'll be tucking into my. We have a tradition that we always buy a bottle of port once a year because we don't drink a lot of port. But for Christmas, I always buy a bottle of port, and we've got a lovely ruby port this year. So I'm sure I'm enjoying that as you listen to this.
And Bart may or may not have already tucked into that port when I made him record with me this afternoon. He had a dinner party that he had hosted. So let me listen now.
Make sure your presents get their software updates.
Okay. All right. This hiss is driving me crazy. Okay, mute yourself, Steve, while I bring us home. Well, I will add to Bart's comments and wish you a very safe and happy holiday season with lots of good cheer, family fun, nifty geek toys, and joy. And remember, tell your friends if they're sad because their podcasts or skipping episodes because they're on vacation, or if they're maybe they're running reruns. I'm not a big fan of reruns. Be sure to tell them that the NosillaCast will have live content because of our listener contributions coming into the show. So there will be another show. In fact, there will be a live show on December 29th, I think that is. The following Sunday, we will be at CES up in January, but I'll warn you about that next week. So that is going to wind us up for this week. Don't forget to send your dumb questions, comments, suggestions, and listener contributions by emailing me at allison@podfeet.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter, @podfeet. Remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com. You want to become a patron of Podfeet Podcast? Go to podfeet.com/Patreon. Want to join our Facebook group? Podfeet.com/Facebook. Want to join our Slack community? Podfeet.com/Slack. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the very friendly and enthusiastic Really? Can't pull it off. Can't bring it home. And join the very friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. All right. Who's got 2 iPads going?
That's Kaylee. Kaylee's class.
Oh, wow.
Look how well behaved they are. Check
I'm
that
looking
out.
for this. Oh, well, she's got to watch a Mr. Bean. They're watching TV.
Well, that's true. Anyone's going to watch Mr. Bean.
They're also probably very well behaved.
Yes, exactly.
I'm just intrigued that she's got that giant, weird keyboard. I want to hear about the keyboard. All right, you want me to save, Kevin? Good, I'll save, and I'm going to pop in some outro music, and we should... Oh, we're late, Steve.
6:01, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us here, that extra minute.
I know, it's late. Yeah, this is rough. All right,
so
I don't know
you are going to have a live show on the 29th?
Yes.
So everything as
why
usual.
Not?
So
I'll be
why
back.
does this podcast stays live throughout the holidays?
Yeah, we're not missing a show.
Wow.
We're gonna so just for you guys, mark your calendars. We will be in Las Vegas on January 5th. So the live show will be probably on January 4th. If I do a live show.
We're talking. Let's see.
I'm going to listen while Steve tries.
So the 5th is Sunday, so you're saying we do it Saturday before that.
The 6th, or the 4th, yeah.
Okay.
Castaways, thanks for listening. Okay, that is still too loud. And stay subscribed. Okay, that's a little intense. And a little early. Too much and too soon. A little late, actually. There we go. All right. I think we are good to go. I'm going to export this. And, Steve is making, chicken, broccoli, and rice. A family classic. I was excited to hear that my son makes chicken, rice, and broccoli. Our son makes chicken, rice, and broccoli.
He does it in a completely different order then. I do chicken, broccoli, and rice.
No, it's chicken, rice, and broccoli. What are you talking about?
Oh, I said it wrong then. I typed it wrong.
This is very odd.
Look
at make Hindenburg full screen right now.
Yeah.
Can you see? No, you can't see the bottom of the screen. Darn it.
Yeah. Give us your whole screen, or maybe you can't.
Well, let me just try pulling this up. See if I can change the aspect ratio and mess you up. No, I can't. Close. Oh, that was weird. Let me see if I can show it. I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, you see the little bouncy thing there?
Yeah.
See the bouncy audio thing? I'm gonna export. Let me just put this in delete me. Watch the bouncy thing when I'm not talking. So I think it's picking the audio up as it was recorded.
Oh.
But it's going red line. Oh, I don't know why it's. Do you see it? Isn't that interesting? Rose has never had brown rice.
What? Come on.
Huh.
Rose, you should try it.
Yep. It's good for you. I never liked it. I always just like really hated it. And then Steve found some really good brown rice that I love. So that's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should say goodbye to the audience. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Love to you all. And big kiss to Rose. Mwah. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas.
Wait, hang on. Hang on. Don't go. Don't hang up yet. Somebody broke the
Broke the
dog.
dog. She's twisted.
Tesla.
Good night, Tesla.
Poor thing.
Oh.
Oh, I'm so old. Oh, she left. All right. Well, with that ridiculous ending, wish you guys all a happy holiday.
Good night, Gracie.
I hear her. Good night, everybody. Bye.